We're counting down our top 10 best coffees in all of Walt Disney World.
Let's drink.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sam.
And you are watching the Theme Park Foodies, and we are back at Walt Disney World. We're here a lot, if you guys have watched our channel before. And we've had a lot of coffee in Walt Disney World, and we decided, well, Sam actually decided, because you're a coffee aficionado, that you wanted to count down our top 10, right?
This feels like Christmas Day to me. And I feel like we've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yeah.
But logistically, we were trying to figure it out, and Jason kept saying, you can't have 10 coffees in one day. And I was like, you underestimate me.
You underestimate my power.
I don't think it's healthy.
We compromise, and we're doing 2 days.
Yes, so I do not recommend having 10 coffees in one day. Please don't do that. If you do, speak to your physician or your doctor before you try to do that. We're gonna break this up over 2 days, so you will see some wardrobe changes, and we are going to count down in order our top 10 coffees in all of Walt Disney World. We will be trying each coffee out as we go through, because theme park food, theme park coffee can be inconsistent, so we like to see if, they stick the landing. We've also tried to spread them out. We want to be able to have a coffee in kind of each area, each land, each park, that if you're in a park, you'd be able to find and say, hey, that's Theme Park Foodie's favorite, and hopefully you would enjoy it too. Everyone does have a different flavor palette,
Yeah, we're going to 3 parks, 3 resorts, Disney Springs. We're going everywhere.
Yeah, so a lot of traveling today and tomorrow, but we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna be very caffeinated, hopefully not too caffeinated. And we did also try to pick out coffees that we feel like have good beans, good aroma, actual good coffee, not just stuff that's got ice cream in it and things like that, even though there will be some sweet coffees on this list. You ready?
I'm more than ready. I think this was my life's mission. So I feel like my life's coming full circle.
I'm ready too. And if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Join us for our top 10 coffee crawl here at Walt Disney World. All right, so our number 10 takes us to Epcot. In the World Showcase area over at Norway, they have grass as a roof. It is Kringla Bakery and the Kristoff Coffee. You can actually get this with alcohol, I believe, too, right, Sam?
Yeah, then it's the Viking coffee if you get the alcohol one. We've never been brave enough to do that.
So this is a creamy coffee. It's one of the sweeter ones, and it's they have it in a vat, which is why we're putting it at our number 10. Probably not the highest quality, but it's delicious. It's sweet. It's I think just as good as a Starbucks, right?
Also, my only issue with it, and I've said this before, is that you can't get a bigger size. I just want more of it.
Yeah, and it has I think it's cocoa pebbles on top.
They're faux cocoa pebbles, and I didn't skimp on them today. And then there's they line the cup with some chocolate syrup. So good. It's actually not too sweet, and it's a good balance between coffee and mocha. I think they do it really well. You get a little texture from the cocoa pebbles. I think it's really good. Every time that we have family or friends in town and we do an Epcot day, we're always we're starting at Kringla. We make everybody drink this drink. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Too, it's cold, but it stays creamy.
What's sad is I feel like Epcot actually doesn't have any other coffees that make this list per se. They may have one other one, but I feel like if you're in Italy, they should have a cappuccino or something, which they don't.
France has a good drink with a coffee with ice cream in it that we've not had. That I've heard good things.
Well, we didn't want to put ice cream coffees. All right, so number 9 takes us to our first spot on the list. It actually has a drink from Disney Springs. We'll be back here a few more times during this countdown. It takes us to Everglaze, Florida, born and glazed, across from Splitsville and right near the Orange Garage. They're known for their donuts here. They're very sweet, but Sam and I really enjoy the Reese's Nitro Cold Brew here. Now this also is very sweet. It's basically like a chocolate milk or peanut butter chocolate milk turned into a cold brew. They use oat milk though, right, Sam? And they infuse it with Reese's?
Yes, with Reese's peanut butter syrup. So there is another, spoiler alert, peanut butter cold brew on this list that I feel tastes more like peanuts.
Yes.
And this one is more actual peanut butter sauce.
Yeah, and peanut butter chocolate.
And it's this one tastes more like a dessert drink to me.
Yes, you can also get a topper with their Reese's donut, which looks very good. This is delicious. You can see they make it in like vats, so it's like going to be like a giant vat. They drizzle the chocolate syrup around the side here. It's nothing that's like artisan or I would say gourmet, but it's definitely if you enjoy like a sweet, or if you're like a big peanut butter chocolate fan or a Reese's fan and also a coffee fan, I think this is one of the options that you should definitely get. Would you agree with that, Sam?
Yes.
Yeah, and also the aesthetic of Everglaze is very nice. It's kind of tucked right in like a little corner here in Disney Springs. So it's gonna be right like past or in between the AMC and Splitsville. I'm gonna give this iteration a 7. Feels a little watered down today. All right, so our number 8 coffee takes us over to the Polynesian. Now, this is a short monorail ride from the Magic Kingdom, or if you're dining here at Ohana or Kona Cafe, this actually is a Kona Cafe coffee. It is the Kona Press Pot coffee. These beans are imported from Hawaii and I believe in Central America.
It's a blend of Hawaiian and Central American beans.
Yes.
All of the restaurants have a press pot with like their resort flavored blend. And I always, if you're a coffee drinker, I always recommend getting the press pot. It's just gonna give you a better cup of coffee. Because of the press pot, it steeps, the beans for like, it's probably like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, so it takes a bit to get this, and if you order it, it will serve 2 people, so 2 cups of coffee.
So if you get it at the restaurant when you have it, I feel like we usually get like 2.5, 3 like mugs with our breakfast, but when you get it from the to-go, you get 2 pretty big cups.
Yeah, so this is Kona Island Coffee and Sushi. It's the little stand that's right next to Kona Cafe. We've had a few of the coffees that are a bit lower on the list today, and I think I've liked this probably more than all of them, to be honest. That's just me.
Yeah, so when we actually stayed at the Polynesian, like I fell in love with this coffee. We got home and I like Amazon Primed a press pot and the Kona blend of beans because this coffee just tastes like vacation.
You can't replicate it. You don't get to ask for milk or sugar though. You have to place in the half and half yourself in the back, and they also have like a little sugar stand.
It's very simple.
To me, the beans are the highlight here, which is why this is probably, honestly, I'm gonna put this above a lot of coffee. I'll talk about it at the end, but this is definitely my favorite I had today.
It's just a quality coffee, and because it's made in the press pot, it just has just like this natural aroma and flavor of the beans comes through more than if you just got like a drip coffee. It has a little bit, I feel like I taste a little bit of fruity notes in it. It's just a smooth, nice coffee, and I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, because we're not filming this in order, this should be higher in the list. All right, so our number 7 is only a short walk from Epcot. You can actually walk over to the Boardwalk Resort over here, and they've recently opened an area called Carousel Coffee. It's been in about the past year and a half. We've had a lot of criticism on the aesthetic of Carousel Coffee. It just feels somewhat like a hospital. It also contrasts the kind of old school early 20th century type of flair you can find at the Boardwalk. It's also like an Atlantic City Boardwalk here at the Boardwalk. But we're not here to talk about aesthetics. We're here to talk about how good is the coffee. And we actually do like the actual coffee at Carousel Coffee, right, Sam?
Yes, and this one is a little bit on the sweet side.
Yes, it's the cinnamon bun coffee.
It's frozen. It's Joffre's with cinnamon bun syrup.
I'm going to try it out right now. So this is more like a frap. So if you've gone to Starbucks before, it's like a frappuccino. I believe they use Joffre's coffee, right?
Yes.
Now, there's certainly that cinnamon bun flavor in there. I'm getting like a syrupy taste. Yeah, I didn't get the last time that we had this, Sam.
That's the thing with syrup drinks is that sometimes they can come off very artificial. Like if they put an extra pump or two, it definitely is going to affect the taste.
Yeah. It tastes somewhat artificial, which we didn't get last time. I actually think I would put Kristoff above this on this particular iteration. That was the last, I think, frozen coffee that we had was Kristoff. I'm going to give this a 7 for today. I still like the actual coffee. I still like the flavor, but the artificial flavor of it is bringing it back for me. It is very well blended though. It mixes very well. Obviously a Disney coffee with the Disney characters adorning the side of it.
And it's nice to walk along the boardwalk with your frozen coffee.
Yeah, and there are nice pictures in here of carousels and different like Disney artifacts, which are fun to peruse. All right, so our number 6 is a bit of a cop-out. We always have one cop-out each video, and there are specialty Joffre's coffees that you can get at each park, we decided to actually head over to the Joffre stand in Disney Springs. Now, we learned something today. You used to be able to get all of the different coffees at each of the parks at the Joffre stand at Disney Springs. We used to come here and do that a lot. I used to love getting the Mission to S'mores here, which is what you can get over at Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland, and used to love getting the Roundup latte here, which is what you can get over in Hollywood Studios. But unfortunately, they're only doing one at a time now, so we had to get the Lion Latte from Animal Kingdom, which we enjoy, right?
Yeah, Epcot actually doesn't have a coffee. They have a non-caffeinated specialty Joffre drink near the Guardians ride. But anyway.
They also sometimes have specialty coffees for the festivals at Epcot.
Yeah, but this is a Lion's Latte. It has white chocolate and coconut syrup and toasted coconut on top. I love coconut, so I love this drink. But if you don't like coconut, this might not be for you.
So for those that don't know, Joffre's is kind of like Disney's brand of coffee. They kind of compete a bit here with Starbucks. Some like Starbucks, some like Joffre's. When I'm at Disney, I like getting Joffre's, but I do enjoy both.
Yeah, I like both too. I'm gonna give this one an 8. I actually do think that I like the Round 'em Up latte a little more. It has cookie butter syrup in it. It has like a little animal cracker in it. It's a really good drink, but this one is still good.
Yeah, when we're including all of those in this number 6. So
They're all
yeah, so Roundup.
Joffre's.
Yeah, and I love the Mission to S'mores over at Magic Kingdom. So check out that Joffre stand at Magic Kingdom if you want that one, and if you want this one, it can be found over at Animal Kingdom. All right, so number 5 takes us back to Disney Springs. We're at Summerhouse on the lake, right across from Salt and Straw and Beau's Signature Candles. It's the cookie bar in Summerhouse on the lake. They have very interesting coffees. Sam, this is a favorite of yours. It's the Mexican Mocha. What's in it?
This is espresso, chocolate, agave, and cinnamon, and you can also get it iced as well.
All right, so I'm gonna try it out. You can see that cinnamon right there on top of it. It has a nice mocha flavor to it. I feel like the beans felt high quality when we had them last time as well, right?
Yes, and I love the aesthetic of Summerhouse. I love that they're seating indoors where you can sit with your coffee and your cookies. There's nice patio seating out front. Like, I just think that this was such a great addition to Disney Springs.
It feels very California, and the coffee's pretty easy to get. The line is never super long. It's not like another coffee that's going to be coming up on our list very soon. This is good.
To me, it's like a hot chocolate coffee with cinnamon on top.
I agree with that flavor profile. It's not super sweet though, and the cinnamon kind of adds a good little bite to it. A little, not spicy spiciness, but a nice little spice. It hits you on the back of your tongue. I really like this coffee. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it's honestly, out of what we've had so far, one of the better ones that I've had, and we always want to come back here and get the coffee here. I would say even more so than some other places in Springs, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so number 4 takes us to Disney Springs. We're in the landing right near Boathouse, and this, of course, is the Gideons Peanut Butter Cold Brew. Beautiful aesthetic here at Gideons. It kind of looks somewhat gothic when you go in. It's like a gothic bookstore, but unfortunately, one of the reasons this doesn't rank higher is it is so hard to get, right, Sam?
It is. You can't just be walking around Disney Springs and be like, oh, I'm craving a Gideon's Cold Brew, and just walk on in, because there's usually a virtual queue. We got here first thing in the morning, 30 minutes before they opened.
And we still waited an hour, and we still had to go in a virtual queue.
Yeah, so it's not convenient. I wish that they would just have like some separate window where you could just get a coffee, because their coffee is so good. But
it's pretty iconic too. A lot of people come just for the coffee. The cookies are obviously what they're known for, delicious cookies and cakes. But this is their peanut butter cold brew. It's a nice creamy flavor. It's vegan too, right, Sam?
It's vegan. It's made with oat milk, and their beans are locally sourced. I never like oat milk in any of my coffees, and I love this coffee. I don't know what it is, what they do that makes it so good.
I like oat milk because I think oat milk is a bit creamier than most of the milk alternatives.
It just has this peanut butter, like I taste peanut flavor, and just...
You're dressed for Gideons today. You're like Mrs. Undertaker right now.
I'm Mrs. Bonsignor, Jason. I love it. I know some people do think that it's on the sweeter side and not for them, but a majority of people, I think, are big fans of this, and it had to be on the list, and I wish it was more accessible, but I'm gonna give it a 9.
So today it's really good, because we've had iterations, I think, once before where it wasn't as good.
I think it's very good.
All right, so for number 3, you know Hollywood Studios had to make the list. If you head straight through Hollywood Studios, head over to Galaxy's Edge. In that little marketplace area, they have a spot called Katsaka's Kettle. It's usually just for popcorn, but in recent memory, about a year ago, they brought over this famous cold brew that they had at Disneyland called the Black Cap Cold Brew. It has Cocoa Puffs right on top of it, Sam. It's got this delicious looking drizzle, this creamy drizzle in the center.
Sweet cream cheese, isn't it?
And it tastes like an alien type of coffee. It's famous, it got very famous on Instagram. It's like a kind of a muscat coffee if you come here. And it's got a good dark note to it. I do think it's Joffre's coffee though, is it?
I think so. I think it's Joffre's cold brew. And you can mobile order this as well.
You also can get it spiked. Rule of thumb, mix it. You gotta mix it. I mean, we didn't mix it one time and it just tasted too dark, you know? Okay, now we got a nice mix. You know, it's weird the coffee tastes burnt. It's burnt today.
You wanted this in the top 3. I actually had it lower, and you said no, it's gotta go in the top 3.
I didn't really challenge you that much, but this one I did want higher because I felt like everyone has to come for it. And the last one we had, Sam, was really good, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Inconsistent.
Yeah. Just so you know, this is next to Ronto Roasters. That's what you hear in the background. It tastes burnt today. This one is like a 5. This is not a good iteration of this coffee. The last one we had was like an 8 or a 9, but this one today is a 5. I just want to get your take, Sam, because I want to know that I'm not being too harsh.
Oh my god.
It's burnt, right?
Oh my god.
It's burnt.
Yeah. 3?
Yeah, this is a bad iteration. Usually the cream helps, but there's like a...
I hope the cream isn't sour because something doesn't taste right.
Yeah, I think the coffee's burnt, but yeah, no, we've had 8 or 9 iterations of this, but today's offering is not it. All right, so for our number 2 coffee, we gotta head over to Animal Kingdom Park. Animal Kingdom actually has 2 coffees on this list because we put the Lion Latte on here. But if you head over to the Port of Harambe in the Africa section of Animal Kingdom, they have a special restaurant called Kusafiri Cafe. They have a lot of good looking food, but they have a specialty coconut coffee with condensed milk. You can see it dripping off the side here. It's one of our favorite things to get here, and it makes our number 2 slot. One of our coffees that we always have to get in Animal Kingdom, right, Sam?
And also I want to say that I think Animal Kingdom is the best park for coffee. Like, it's so nice to get a coffee and just walk around. Like, if I ever have a day off and Jay's not off, I will just come here and literally just get coffee and walk around.
Animal Kingdom's like a walking attraction in and of itself with all the scenic areas, and also there's a lot of shade, so if it's a hot day here in Florida, the breeze, the shade, it actually feels nice compared to a lot of the other parks.
So this is a Joffre's iced coffee, and it has coconut milk and sweetened condensed milk. It's not overpowering.
So the condensed milk adds like a nice creaminess to it. Then you have like the unique flavor of coconut along with the kind of bitterness that coffee has. Now, is this a Joffre's blend coffee, right?
It's not cold brew, it's just a iced coffee.
Yeah, so as you can tell, we've had a lot of Joffre's on this list. There will not be any Starbucks on this list because we are only choosing coffees that are exclusive to Walt Disney World. I will say the Joffre's roasts do have some like sweet notes to them, so they're a bit sweeter than standard coffee. Although sometimes they can be, I feel like, a little buttery if you get the right one.
I love it. I'm giving it a 9. And again, I like coconut, so it's probably playing a part into why this is higher up on the list.
All right, so drum roll, please. This is our number 1. Takes us to the Riviera Resort. If you go into the main lobby, to the back left, you will find Le Petit Cafe. Also, if you're at Epcot, you can take the Skyliner over here. It'll be the first stop, and you have to walk up 1 flight of stairs to get here. So Le Petit Cafe, like the aesthetic does suffer, I feel like, from the same issues that Carousel Coffee does, where it feels somewhat sterile. It's not my favorite aesthetic, but the coffee is banger, right, Sam?
It's top notch.
Yes, and this is, what drink is this? It's the almond cold brew?
The almond cold brew. They also have a cinnamon one that I like too, but I think this is my favorite. And there's also a house-made honey almond whipped cream on top.
Ooh, I didn't know that. All right, so let's try it out. I feel like the beans here taste very good.
It just tastes like quality.
Yeah, like I could eat black coffee. I could drink black coffee here and it would taste really good. Again, it does feel somewhat sterile, but they do have a very nice kind of like bookcase. I think it's called the Voyagers Club, right to the back right of it. And there are some nice pictures on the wall in here. So there are nice things about the Riviera. I do like kind of like the outdoor aesthetic. There are things I do enjoy here. I just think there are some sterile, somewhat non-kinetic shortcomings for this resort that the other Disney resorts just do very well. But the coffee here is probably some of the best at any resort, right?
And good thing this list is just about the coffee and not the aesthetic of the resort.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just about the flavor of the coffee. And I think this is definitely one that's worth going out of your way for. That very light almond flavor, the beans and the aroma of the coffee actually really shine with this one. I'm going to give this a 9. Really good. We purposely go out of our way to get the coffee here a lot of the time. And we do think it's probably better than anything they have at Epcot, anything they have at Hollywood Studios. Although there are good coffees there. But if you are looking for the best coffee in Disney, in our opinion, it's found at the Riviera Resort. All right, so Sam has to have her take on the coffee here. I mean, this is Sam's favorite coffee.
I was the one who made the list.
Yeah, I didn't really combat Sam on any of her choices.
I love it. I feel like where you're going to get, you know, house-made honey almond whipped cream at Disney, you got to come to the Riviera. And I feel like the almond is just like a subtle sweetness. It's simple, but like it doesn't need to be overpowering. It doesn't need anything fancy. I love it.
It has the right flavorings too. It doesn't taste artificial.
For a cold brew, it's not bitter.
It does have a slight bitterness because it's coffee, but it's not overtly bitter.
Not overly bitter. I'm gonna give it a 10.
Wow, 10. And you usually I'm like the 10 happy person, but
This is just, it's my favorite coffee. Like I have to give it a 10 because it's my favorite. It wouldn't make sense if I said it was less than 10.
that makes sense to me. All right, so that does it for our top 10 coffee crawl here at Walt Disney World. I think it was a very successful crawl. I would agree with our top 10, but I do want to say that it was very hard for me particularly to pin down a top 10. I relied a lot on Sam to help me out here, but I think after trying all the coffees, my actual favorite was the Kona Press Pot coffee over at the Polynesian. I particularly enjoy trying to get the flavor of the beans, and I feel like it had a nice buttery flavor. The fact that the actual beans sit in the water and are kind of permeating in there add to the flavor of them, and it didn't rely a lot on sweetness, which a lot of the other coffees did. Although I do think the Riviera coffee was also very high quality.
It was, and I really like the press pot too, but I like the press pot to have with breakfast. I feel like I was basing my rankings off of like when I'm in the park and like what's easily accessible.
Yeah.
And I prefer to drink ice during the day and just have my first coffee in the morning is my hot, and then a lot of things ended up were iced.
Yeah, well,
And
I think in
also,
Florida, most of the people are gonna have an iced coffee.
Yeah, and we have different flavor profiles. I think I do go for more sweeter things. Jason thought that the number 2, the Animal Kingdom coffee, he thought that was a little too sweet today.
I tasted a very sweet coconut flavor in there. Also, they don't use coconut milk in there. They use a coconut flavored syrup, and then they actually use whole milk with the condensed milk in there.
And it's a French vanilla blend of Joffre's.
Yeah, so it tasted very sweet to me, and I think Joffre's itself, even just like the black coffee, can sometimes be sweet. I also want to say I think Joffre's isn't as consistent as Starbucks. Throughout the crawl, I think we've realized that some of the coffees we had burnt flavorings, but other times the Joffre's did taste very good. Starbucks is very consistent, but we didn't want to throw Starbucks on here because you get Starbucks at home. We wanted to pick coffees you can get here at Walt Disney World, and I do think that this is the preeminent list in regards to coffee. There are some things that are mixed with like ice cream and milk that have coffee in them that I think are good, but we were just trying to go solely based off of coffees. And while there was, I think, a bit more sugar than we anticipated, I think that we did kind of pin down the top 10. For me, I'm sticking with that Kona, and then I think for me the number 2 would actually be the Riviera coffee, but you're sticking with the list, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the list. I mean, I like number 10 just as much as I like number 1. I really also think it depends on the day and what park I'm in and stuff like that as well. And it was unfortunate that the black half that we had was so bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't even make the list.
Because we based this list off of previous, experiences, and like 99% of the time, that coffee is very good.
Yeah,
that coffee is a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And I mean, we could have lied and had it and been like, oh yeah, it's a 9 or whatever, but it didn't taste good. And if that ever does happen to you, ask for another one. Like, you can do that.
Yeah, you paid a lot to be here, so let them know if you don't think it's good or if you don't think it was prepared correctly.
We didn't do that because for the sake of time, and we obviously had a million other things to do, so we didn't need to get another one. But I mean, that stuff does happen.
Yeah, I still really enjoyed drinking all this caffeine at Walt Disney World. It was beautiful seeing the sights, smells, and sounds of the Walt Disney World parks.
And I also wanted to mention some honorable mentions. We also like the Shaken Jamaican from Joffre's. the frozen cappuccino dream from Joffre's.
Yes, with a little mocha in there.
And at Coronado Springs Grandestino, they have the Barcelona Lounge. They have very good coffee there. If you were ever staying at that resort, like, please have that coffee. That's very quality coffee.
If any of your coffees didn't make the list, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to pin them up there at the top. And if you haven't tried them, we would love to try them out. We do think that this was kind of like the list of major coffees. But again, the reason we did not put in Starbucks was because you can get Starbucks anytime, anywhere. It would be nice if Starbucks added some specialty Disney coffees, you know, make it a little special.
Would be nice.
Yeah, and if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Liking will really help our channel grow. It pushes this video out into the stratosphere of the YouTube algorithm. Also helps other people find the video. Subscribing, it also helps our channel grow. Hit the bell notification so that way you're notified every time when videos come out, which is when, Sam?
Every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m.
And we now have memberships. If you want to see how to become a member, check the little button that says join at the bottom of this video. You can be a member as low as $1.99 a month. And after this little spiel, you will see a end screen.
End credit scene.
Yes, end credit scene of our members scrolling up here. Don't count the days.
Make the days count.
We'll see you next time. That's all, folks. We actually ended this at the Animal Kingdom Park. So the number 2 is actually the last coffee that we had. We're jumping around a lot.
This was actually harder than I thought it was going to be. Film.
This is one of the hardest videos I think for us to film.
Yeah, I hope that the end result was a nice, 15-20 minute video that made sense and can help you in some way.
Or if you just wanted to have a taste of the Disney parks, or see if your coffee made the list. If it didn't, let us know in the description below. And if you want to keep watching, check out these videos right here on some other lists that we've done here at Walt Disney World.